This person recounts an incident where his wife was experiencing some unusual pain, and they went to the ER, and then they were sort of put through the ringer as the doctor recommended serious surgery, which they were just about to consent to, and then they found out the problem wasn't nearly as serious. Then the insurance company indicated they might not cover the costs. So he goes on to say, during all of this, a horrible mix of many negative emotions such as guilt, fear, rage, suspicion, and even feeling forsaken was revealed. I'm happy and thankful that ultimately nothing bad came of all this, but I'm left wondering how these things can happen and what are people to do, especially for those who are kind and live correctly. Can you please talk more on the correct order in this situation between acknowledging health care and protecting loved ones in a world that wants to kill you, and what lessons to learn from situations like this?
It's a deep question because it involves a relationship with someone other than himself. In this instance, his wife. Is that to be understood? Because I can't address the right behavior in a situation like that. But what I can help illuminate here is a basic understanding about how we get into situations where we wind up feeling as if we have been betrayed or that something is amiss and we're the ones about to be victimized by it. There's a feature of our mind that until it's seen and understood lives in us as a kind of a dictator. Now, no one would agree to have a dictator, let alone live inside of us, that would tell us who and what we are and what to do and how to feel, because our view of ourselves is that we're in charge of our own life. But so many times it happens that, in this instance, the condition that reveals a certain level of consciousness is a sudden problem with one's health and the healthcare system and the doctors and that business. But here's what happens. Our mind will enter into a condition that by its very existence, meaning that I'm not in control of this situation, I don't have all the choices available to me, and it will begin to produce a certain feared outcome. That's basically what happens anytime something comes up that we don't want. Imagination kicks into gear, and it begins to look at what it thinks something means and what's going to happen as a result of what it is projecting as coming. Mm-hmm. Now, it's one thing that mind working like that produces a negative picture, because immediately as it produces that negative pictures, now I'm going to resist my own outcome, meaning I'm going to resist what my mind has imagined. But the secret part of this, and what I'm trying to get to, is that when my mind frightens me, and it doesn't know that it's frightening me by this negative projection, then it seeks an authority to rescue me from what it says is going to happen.
Right.
It actually begins to say, well, now I need this and now I need that. And a great dependency is built into this idea of my being susceptible all of a sudden to a world that doesn't care. All of that is true and remains true. But the question here is this: what do I do in a situation where suddenly the water runs in over my head? And the answer is to start recognizing that anything that is trying to drag you into either vesting your powers and choices in an authority that seems just the most expedient thing to do. I want to get this off of my back, so I'll let you make this decision for me. No. And the other way, I've got to rush to a decision to get something done. No. The right answer is, and this is why we don't want it, I must be patient with my own fears, with my own worries, so that I can begin little by little to get into the root of what is actually the problem, Because the physical condition is not actually the problem in a situation like that. The actual problem is there's something in me reacting the way it is, and then trying to figure out who and what it should do and be in order to deal with it properly. So the right answer in every one of these situations where we're faced with a condition that seems greater than our ability to deal with it, slow down, wake up, become watchful. Then you will begin to see that it is not the condition creating the conflict, but something inside of us that likes conflict, finding a condition that allows it to be the authority and ultimately dictate to us our behavior.
That makes it really clear.
Yeah.